We are live at the scene in Blue Mounds. What we're learning about a fire at a local business.
This morning, a new fee for one Dane County community, how it's part of a bigger trend in the state.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News 3 Now this morning on this Wednesday. We begin this morning with a fire at Crowley's Pub and Grub in Blue Mounds. And our Michelle Renee Quinn has been live on the scene.
All right, Michelle Renee Quinn, what can you tell us?
Chris, Kyrian, the call came in just before 3 o'clock this morning. You can see that the scene is mostly cleaned up. Investigators are still working to figure out the cause of the fire. I'll take a step out of the shot so you can get a look at the building. I did speak with Mount Horeb Fire, and they confirmed that everyone made it out safely and there are no injuries. It is still too early to tell if the fire is suspicious, and we cannot yet estimate that damage. Investigators said they will speak with us once they have concluded their investigation. Live in Blue Mound, Michelle Renee Quinn, News 3 Now.
All right, Michelle Renee, thank you. All right, let's check in now with Savannah Brito, your first one forecast. How are things feeling out there this morning?
Guys, they're actually a little bit cooler than yesterday, but still sitting under mostly clear skies. Our winds and humidity levels, those are actually a little bit lighter than yesterday, hence the cooler temperatures. 52 so far this morning. That's our lowest or nighttime temperature that we've fallen to, but we will warm things up pretty quickly at 10 a.m. 70 around the lunchtime hour, almost pushing 80. I expect temperatures to make it into the mid 80s. Dry today, a little bit of cloud cover increases, and then a chance of rain finally going to return for southern Wisconsin, the first chance in more than 2 weeks. This is a radar image of that cold front moving in from west to the east, closer to southern Wisconsin, about 1 to 2 in the morning Friday, so late Thursday into Friday morning. That's our first chance of showers. We could see some areas of thunderstorms, embedded thunderstorms, and pockets of heavy showers. Little to no severe weather expected, a better chance directly west of here. We'll talk about that and also show future track, put that in motion time by time when those storms are expected to make its way to Madison and then eastward. That's all coming up a little later.
All right, Savannah, thank you. If you live in Sun Prairie, you're going to have to pay more now to own a car. This comes after the city passed a wheel tax at last night's meeting. It's $30. The tax will go into effect February 1st.
This is part of a growing trend in Wisconsin. Our Braden Ross spoke to an expert to find out why.
When there's a real struggle for every municipality to balance their budget, any little source of new revenue is, I think, and should be on the table.
In 2011, there were only 4 Wisconsin communities that imposed a wheel tax. But as road repairs and infrastructure projects have gotten more expensive and state aid and property tax limits haven't kept up, municipalities have been forced to fund roads and transportation in other ways.
They look for small extra sources of revenue, and the wheels tax is an obvious one.
Today, there are more than 50 cities and counties in Wisconsin with wheel taxes. In Madison, drivers pay $40 for the city tax and $28 for the county levy. That's on top of the $85 annual state registration fee.
These kind of taxes that you're referring to are usually called generically, at least, user fees.
The idea, rather than pay for road costs through taxes that everyone pays into, the money comes out of the wheel tax pot that's funded by those who actually use the roads.
If I'm using a service, I ought to pay for it, hence the name user fees. On the other hand, if we expand that to services that every municipal resident should have access to, then people who have low income are really restricted.
But asking your constituents to pay more taxes, not necessarily an easy sell.
That was Braden Ross reporting. She says that council members had multiple long discussions about all of this. They also repeatedly said they didn't want it to pass.
Now to Hour 3 for the People coverage. Young people on social media are seeing an increase in political content as the election approaches. Both presidential candidates have found ways to appeal to younger generations on social media. Vice President Kamala Harris has a TikTok that embraces memes and pop culture. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump is active on X and has recently gone on a popular podcast.
According to the Pew Research Center, people who only get their information from social media are more likely to be exposed to made-up news. So while politics on social media can be entertaining, it's not always accurate.
I mean, I think it's cute marketing. I don't really know how substantive it is for campaigns.
One problem with social media is people aren't learning as much, and they're sometimes learning things that aren't true. On the flip side, social media also makes elections really fun.
Professor Wagner also says the best way to fact-check information is a deep search on topics. Plus, he suggests finding multiple sources to back a claim. This information is applicable for adults that use social media, but since Gen Z is a primary user, they are more susceptible to the adverse effects of these platforms.
In elementary schools, best practices are always changing. This means lesson plans are as well. Wisconsin schools are moving away from the decades-old balanced literacy program and are moving toward a new strategy outlined by 2023's Act 20 law. The change comes following the National Assessment of Educational Progress in 2022 that found that 33% of fourth graders were at or above proficient reading levels. This leaves 2/3 behind. Supporters of the act say more equitable instruction could help.
The best version of what the change is aiming for is to get kids to be more fluent with the tools of reading more quickly, more effectively, more efficiently, and with some equity.
One major building block is teaching kids to break down words letter by letter. This is opposed to popular strategies that teach kids to use context clues in memorization to form words and sentences.
Now to an update. Starting today, students who attend East Elementary in Jefferson will have classes in other buildings. District leaders say this will continue through the 27th. This comes after a fire canceled classes yesterday. Officials say the fire did not cause significant damage, but it requires slick cleaning. More information for caretakers can be found on the district's Facebook page.
6:06 now. The man charged in a deadly shooting downtown Madison is sentenced to 8 years in prison. 42-year-old Edward Smith pleaded guilty to shooting and killing his stepbrother, Shantari Riley, in November of 2023. This bumped his first-degree intentional homicide charge down to second-degree reckless homicide. It was part of a plea deal that dismissed several felony charges.
Families of some workers killed in the Baltimore bridge collapse announced a lawsuit. They say it's aimed at preventing the ship's owner from escaping legal liability. 8 construction workers were doing maintenance on the bridge back in March when the cargo ship lost power. It slammed into the bridge, causing it to collapse. 6 workers died. The ship's Singapore-based parent company went to court seeking to limit its legal exposure. 3 other workers' families are asking the court to reject that request.
We ask for justice because no corporation, no amount of lobbying, no legal loophole should ever be able to erase the value of a human life.
The family's attorney says they will allow the jury to decide on compensation for the deaths. Last week, investigators say they found a loose cable that could have caused the electrical issue. They also say the ship had a series of electrical issues before and after its departure from Baltimore.
Madison welcoming in 27 new U.S. citizens during a special naturalization ceremony. The new citizens come from 17 countries. They include China, Russia, Mexico, and Italy. One new citizen is the owner of restaurant Naples 15.
Madison community been great. Actually, it was more of a welcome. I mean, they welcomed me since day one, and I feel home right back. I mean, right away. They are wonderful. They super honest people, hard worker. So I'm very proud and honored to be part of a citizenship in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yesterday's naturalization ceremony is part of a bigger celebration marking Constitution Day, Citizenship Day, and Welcoming Week.
Savannah, what's coming up for us?
We could finally start to see some showers move in across southern Wisconsin as early as tomorrow night. We'll talk about how much and time that rain out coming up.
And a packed Kohl Center last night for Badger volleyball. Coming up, we'll show you who shined against Marquette.
Also ahead, Madison addressing the need for more housing, especially middle-income housing. We'll show you what that'll look like.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning, brought to you by Toyota.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a tough new 2024 Tacoma for $319 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
I want to turn to the issue of abortion.
For 52 years, they've been trying to get Roe v. Wade into the states. I did a great service in doing it. It took courage to do it. And the Supreme Court had great courage in doing it.
I have talked with women around our country. You want to talk about this is what people wanted? Pregnant women who want to carry a pregnancy to term, suffering from a miscarriage, being denied care in an emergency room because the healthcare providers are afraid they might go to jail, and she's bleeding out in a car in the parking lot. She didn't want that. Her husband didn't want that. A 12 or 13-year-old survivor of incest being forced to carry a pregnancy to term. They don't want that. I think the American people believe that certain freedoms, in particular the freedom to make decisions about one's own body, should not be made by the government. I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Eric Hovde is a multi-millionaire California bank CEO, but when it comes to our health care, his plans aren't so rich. Hovde says he wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
We have to try to defund every aspect of Obamacare,
costing 200,000 Wisconsin families their health care. And Hovde supported policies that will cut Social Security and Medicare and raise the Social Security retirement age. A millionaire lifestyle works great for Hovde, but his plans on health care are a disaster for us. Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Eric Hovde insulted Wisconsin seniors.
Almost nobody in a nursing home is in a point to vote.
What a jerk. He attacked those who are overweight.
Fine, you want to do that? Your health care is going to cost more.
How insulting is that?
He called farmers lazy.
Look at the old physical toil. Now you're largely driving around a tractor.
This guy doesn't have a clue.
Eric Hovde has insulted just about everyone.
What's wrong with this guy?
You don't need to battle addiction alone. Contact the great people at Wood Violet Recovery today. You could be on your way to recovery the same day. Wood Violet Recovery works with a wide range of insurance networks, so a large portion of your treatment may be covered. Wood Violet Recovery will create the treatment plan that best suits your needs. Unlike other rehab facilities, phones and laptops are welcome. Today may feel dark, but there's a brighter tomorrow. Contact Wood Violet Recovery now.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration. Well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
No, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
6:12 on your Wednesday morning. The city of Madison is taking a step toward addressing the need for middle housing. That's a type of housing sandwiched between single-family homes and large-size apartment buildings. Our Kyle Pozorski reports.
City leadership tells us it's at projects like this one on the southwest side where they hope to finally start addressing an often overlooked part of the housing sector.
We've been struggling to get that famous missing middle housing.
Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway speaking at a groundbreaking ceremony Tuesday at properties which up to now have been duplexes. The city's Community Development Authority now set to build 6 3-bedroom townhomes on Teresa Terrace, saying each will be larger than most others in the same area. Matt Wachter leads Madison's Department of Planning, Community, and Economic Development.
I think when we look at the data, what it really says is we need more of every kind of housing in every part of the city at every income level. So because there's such strong demand, we need to build some of kind of every type.
District 20 Alder Barbara Harrington McKinney was also present, telling us this project and others similar to it can provide the opportunity for Madisonians to get into housing at a lower cost and in the form of a modern development. The city says each unit will be guaranteed for the entirety of the habitable lifespan to be affordable for those making up to 60% of Dane County's area median income. In Madison, Kyle Pozorski, News 3 Now.
Demolition of duplexes will begin soon. Construction of the townhome should be completed in mid to late 2025.
September is Emergency Preparedness Month, and SSM Health is reminding people the importance of creating a family emergency plan. These can be for environmental events like a tornado or blizzard, or it can be for unpredictable emergencies like a fire or a car accident. SSM Health's Environment and Health Safety Manager also recommends creating an emergency supply kit.
Non-perishable items, weather radios, flashlights, extra batteries, first aid kits. I discussed tourniquets are always a good idea. Even for, I know there's a lot of hunters in Wisconsin, just carrying a tourniquet and stop the bleed kit with you when you're in the field is a good idea too. Cell phone chargers, medicines, if you have small ones, diapers, formula, candles and matches, and sealed Ziploc bags.
Experts also add that having written documents of emergency and family contact information is a good idea in case the internet is down.
6:15, checking in now with Savannah Brito. We are just a few days away from fall, but it's still very, very warm out there.
Yeah, fall starts on Sunday, but we're forecasting well above average temperatures, and actually for the foreseeable future. I think by mid to late week next week, that's when temperatures come down a little bit, but nonetheless a very warm day with mostly sunny skies expected today. Temperatures a little bit cooler this morning, lower 50s for most. We'll climb into the mid to upper 50s by 7 a.m. By lunchtime, pushing 80. By 5 p.m., likely going to see temperatures cool down a little bit. 3 to 4 p.m., that's our daytime high, will rise to 85 today and the next couple of days. Finally tracking some rain in the forecast, though, as early as Thursday night into early Friday morning. A cold front that's west of here right now, sparking actually some showers over the Great Plains and some storms, severe weather expected there. That's going to move in across Minnesota and Iowa Thursday. Thursday night, that's going to trail in closer to our area, bringing us a chance of showers. The second cold front that's going to swing in, that'll be over the Great Plains on Saturday morning and then track in, and that'll bring us our second chance of rain Saturday into Sunday. And then Monday and Tuesday still tracking on and off showers, or at least a chance. So a little bit more of an active pattern, especially compared and taking into consideration what we have seen the last couple of days. Any shower activity today over the Great Plains that trails into Iowa and Minnesota, but then as the storms tomorrow morning, this is Thursday at about 2:30 a.m. As they enter Minneapolis, still holding up, but then watch what they do as they travel closer to a more stable environment across southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. They break up. Clouds will increase ahead of that cold front, at least in the morning and afternoon tomorrow, but then our first chance of showers, that's not going to return until Thursday night, and probably even past that midnight hour, at least for Madison and areas east. This is 9 p.m., still across northern and central Wisconsin. This is now 2 to 3 in the morning, those getting close to the Madison area, but they are expected to fizzle out as they enter Milwaukee and still travel east beyond Madison. I think we could see a couple of pockets of heavier showers as a result of this. The hazards outlook, this is days 3 to 7. The chance of heavy rain well to our southwest. This is also the Weather Prediction Center's rain forecast for the next 7 days. That blue color and the monitor and the scale at the top of the screen still shows maybe about an inch of rain. So we still have a decent chance, but keep in mind an inch over the next 7 days, not great, but at least it's some compared to the 200ths we've only seen so far September.
Anytime Wisconsin and Marquette volleyball get together, there's always fireworks. Add in a bigger venue, and it doesn't get much better than that in the I-94 rivalry. This year, the two brought the match to the Kohl Center. Now, the Badgers spotted the Golden Eagles a one-set lead and then went to work in the second. Carly Anderson in for the injured Charlie Furbringer, sets up Sarah Franklin. And Frank the Tank does what she does, hammers it home for the kill, and in the process reached the 1,500 kill milestone for her career. Well, she was far from done. Later in the set, she's gonna drop it down from the back row, and yeah, she knows it's her night. Now, Anderson had 51 assists. Here's one more to guess who. Franklin, who paints the line. 33 kills from her. Badgers win it 3-1.
Frank was in a lot of pain the entire match. To put that performance, to play that performance with her back as tight as what it was and as much pain as she was. I mean, she's a warrior. I mean, that is absolutely one of the best matches I've ever seen a player do under the circumstances. It was fantastic.
8 home runs. Magic number is down to 2 for the Brewers. Bryce Harper, though, had other plans. 6th inning, it's tied at 1, and Harper sends a 2-run shot to center. That makes it 3-1 Phillies. Brewers lose 5-1, but the good news, so did Craig Counsell and his Cubbies. So Milwaukee's magic number to clinch the division is now down to 1. That's it for morning sports. Have a great day.
And still ahead, a basketball legend finally sells his mansion and a terrifying close encounter with a bear.
Coming up in our next half hour, the Federal Reserve is scheduled to meet today to reduce interest rates. We'll let you know just how much those rate drops could be and how it would impact your wallet.
And as we head to break, here's a look at gas prices this morning. Time now 6:20. We'll be right back.
Donate kids' winter coats at Clinky Cleaners during Coats for Kids.
Pets are cute. Until they're not. Forgive your best friend. It's not clean until it's Stanley Steamer Clean.
He told us who he was.
Should abortion be punished?
There has to be some form of punishment.
Then he showed us.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it, and I'm proud to have done it.
Now Donald Trump wants to go further with plans to restrict birth control, ban abortion nationwide, even monitor women's pregnancies. We know who Donald Trump is. He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Get pre-estimates fast on new energy-efficient windows from Geldwin. Choose from vinyl or wood windows and customize the perfect size and unique features for your home. Get an 11% rebate on all Geldwin windows. Shop the largest selection of in-stock garage doors or design your own using our free garage door design program. This 9x7 garage door is just $399.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
4 years ago, in this alley, rioters threw a brick at my face and knocked out my teeth. Why? Because I was a police officer. And what did Kamala Harris do? While America's cities were burning, Kamala was defending peaceful protest. She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding our police, making us all less safe. Kamala Harris is dangerous.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Shop from the largest selection of Chevy trucks and SUVs in Wisconsin at Bergstrom Chevrolet. All with Bergstrom's negotiation-free upfront pricing, including our exclusive 7-day price protection and money-back guarantees. Stop in or shop and purchase at BergstromChevrolet.com.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
We found out our baby had severe fetal abnormalities and that my life was at risk. But Wisconsin Republicans' extreme abortion ban forced us to leave the state to get the care that I needed. It was a nightmare. Eric Hovde pushed to end Roe v. Wade. And in the Senate, Hovde would give Mitch McConnell the majority to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of women like me. What is wrong with these guys?
The Friends of the Middleton Performing Arts Center present Rick Lindy and the Jukebox Legends, a musical tribute to the early roots of rock and roll. Saturday, September 28th. One show only. Tickets available online now.
Gas, groceries, school supplies, everything costs more. Eggs are almost twice as much as they were 4 years ago. Biden, Harris, and the Democrats keep telling us things are better. They aren't better. And Tammy Baldwin is making it worse. Raising taxes, running up debt, voting for spending that's driving inflation. 25 years in Washington and she's done nothing. It's time for a change.
I'm Eric Hovde, and I approve this message.
Get peace of mind with your annual Stanley Steamer dryer vent cleaning. We remove lint buildup to reduce the risk of fire and extend the life of your dryer. Plus, your clothes will dry faster too. Your dryer vent isn't clean until it's Stanley Steamer Clean.
Gets your home cleaner.
6:24 on your Wednesday. Here's a photo of the supermoon over at the Wisconsin Dells. This is from Josh Brill.
Just incredible.
Yes, people are really capturing some amazing photos of this supermoon. Very nice photo here. Thanks for sending it in. Continue to send yours in at #MyNews3Morning.
Trending this morning, Michael Jordan's mansion has a new owner this morning. It's been on the market for over a decade. The home in Highland Park went for $14.8 million. That sounds like a lot, maybe, but the former Chicago Bulls superstar put the mansion on the market in 2012 with an original asking price of $29 million. The legendary estate sits on 7 acres, 9 bedrooms, 15.5 bathrooms, also a full-size basketball court, and an infinity pool.
What else could you ask for?
Hey, there you go. Check this out. A Serbian influencer captured some terrifyingly close video here with a curious bear. He's inside the bear's den. Video shared to Instagram shows Stefan Jankovic inside the den. The curious bear sniffs him, takes a few steps inside, and then eventually they make it out towards the entrance. And as Jankovic walks to the entrance, he flips the camera around, and you can see just how close he got to that bear. It is, oh man, so close.
And the fact that he's like so calm.
Yeah.
And recording.
I don't know what I would be doing. Not that.
That bear's got to be so used to having people around. It's just, I don't know.
Guess.
I mean, then he's just like, let me get right past you right here.
Hey, what do you got there in your hand, buddy? You got a little camera or something? What do you got? Any snacks in that bag?
I'm assuming that he didn't have food, hopefully, because I feel like then it could have ended worse.
It takes a lot of guts. Literally walks into the bear's den. What did you think was going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know, but it doesn't look like it's raining there. We're finally going to see some rain here, which is good news. I know, it's so dry. I was looking outside yesterday. My grass outside my house kind of looks like hash browns. Not good.
Hash browns, I like that analogy.
I don't know, you might want to eat it, but probably not. So we'll talk about the rain that's in the forecast.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
This Thursday, one day only, earn a 30-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $40. That's a 30-cent fuel saver for every $40 you spend in-store and online. Thursday only, and only at Hy-Vee.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
no, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
After my son was born, I was having a hard time leaving him, only being able to see him once before going to work and then once before bed. That's just not enough time.
At my old job, my entire check went to daycare to pay to be away from my child. We bring our kids with us in the mornings and they ride with us on our routes and then they go to school.
I'm on a route where I'm the one dropping my kids off at school. It's been phenomenal.
Being able to bring them with me has been really great for our family.
This shouldn't take too long, should it?
I'll have the unit up and running in a jiffy. Oh, sorry, I have to go to the shop. Sorry, I don't have that part either. Sorry, I don't have that part either.
But you said it would be quick. A fully stocked truck can make a huge difference. Call Cardinal.
With Sweeto Metal Roofing, you get quality metal roofs installed by the best in the business. A metal roof means no fading, no storm repairs, true sustainability, and lower energy bills.
Sweeto Metal Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
There are over 21,000 Wisconsin veterans struggling to pay for rent and utilities.
Thank you for your service.
Many are also facing issues with their mental health.
Thank you for your service.
We must do more to help these heroes who have already sacrificed so much.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Words simply aren't enough.
I'm sorry.
Make a difference by donating to this critical Wisconsin survival safety net today.
Tammy Baldwin's partner is Maria Brisbane, a Wall Street wealth advisor to the ultra-rich. They spend their time in New York and D.C. in their multi-million-dollar homes. But Baldwin fails to report their jointly owned assets or Maria's clients, who get rich off industries that Tammy regulates. That's a conflict of interest raising serious ethical questions. Two-faced Tammy Baldwin. She's not for us anymore.
Fix Washington PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
This Thursday, one day only, earn a 30-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver for every $40. That's a 30-cent fuel saver for every $40 you spend in-store and online. Thursday only and only at Hy-Vee.
This morning, we're following reports of a local business fire in Blue Mounds. We'll have the details.
Also this morning, that long-awaited interest rate cut. It could happen this afternoon. What it would mean for you.
Plus, J.D. Vance's latest visit to Wisconsin, the issues the VP nominee focused on.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to News 3 Now this morning. We have some developing news of a fire at Curly's Pub and Grub in the village of Blue Mounds. The call came in around 2:41 this morning. Curly's is right on the corner of Main Street and Division Street, right down the road from Cave of the Mounds. That fire has been out for a little while this morning, and crews have been cleaning up.
That's right, but Mount Horeb Fire confirms everyone made it out safely, no injuries reported, and we will have more updates. You can find that here on the air and over on our website. That's channel3000.com.
Checking in now with meteorologist Savannah Brito on your first warn forecast. How is it out there?
It's a little bit cooler than yesterday. Temperatures actually across southern Wisconsin have fallen into the lower 50s, even some upper 40s now. So temps still falling out there as we get closer to that 7 o'clock hour. We're at 49 in Middleton, 52 in Madison, 49 degrees in Deerfield. There are some areas still hanging on to the 60s, 61 in Monroe, 62 in La Crosse. La Crosse could see a chance of severe weather tomorrow. Every chance of rain holds off over the Great Plains, well west of our area across southern Wisconsin today. But as we inch closer to tomorrow, a cold front actually going to spark our first chance of rain in more than 2 weeks. That's going to come overnight tomorrow into early Friday morning. Most of us seeing this past midnight, so it is technically early Friday that we do finally have a chance of rain that's going to return into the forecast. Ahead of that cold front, we'll see clouds increase tomorrow afternoon into the overnight hours, but then pockets of heavier showers, maybe some embedded thunderstorms also included in this. We'll talk about if we could see severe weather, the chances of that here across southern Wisconsin coming up a little later, and how much rain we could see over the next couple of days. That's all coming up.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Well, it is an important day for the U.S. economy.
For the first time in 4 years, the Federal Reserve is expected to reduce interest rates. Rate cuts would make repaying certain loans less expensive. This would help Americans looking to buy a home or car. It would also ease the burden of credit card debt. The question today is, how much will the Fed slash rates? Analysts say too much of a cut could lead to a recession.
If unemployment is increasing, if the things are slowing down, is there a risk that by going gradually and getting this process started in a sort of patient way, you actually let the job market cool too much?
Fed Chair Jerome Powell said in August that it's time to make an adjustment. That's after inflation dropped below 3%.
Today's decision could be the start of a series of incremental cuts, as the Fed has suggested. So let's take a look at past rate cuts. It was March of 2020. The Fed cut rates by 1.5% during the pandemic. That's when lockdowns across the country led to a surge in unemployment. A mid-cycle adjustment in 2019 led to smaller rate cuts. Then the housing market and the crash there and the Great Recession saw even larger cuts in 2007 and 2008 than what happened in 2020. In 2001 and 2002, the dot-com bust and 9/11 also resulted in substantial rate cuts. Now, we expect that rate decision announcement to come around 1 o'clock this afternoon, so make sure you have your Channel 3000 mobile app to be one of the first to know. You can find it wherever you get your apps.
Now to our 3 for the People coverage. The Trump-Vance campaign is aiming to reach Wisconsin voters with regards to the economy. Vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance made a second visit to Eau Claire as western Wisconsin remains a target for both sides of the aisle. At the rally, Vance spoke on multiple issues, including the economy and child care. The senator says the government needs to give families more options.
But I meet families every single day out on the campaign trail, and some of the stories they're telling me, I mean, you get 2 kids in daycare paying $25,000 a year in childcare. I actually heard from somebody just yesterday who has 2 children in daycare and actually is losing money by going to work because of how expensive daycare is. And again, we got to just give people options. We got to give people choice.
Vance's visit comes ahead of Vice President Kamala Harris's stop in Madison on Friday.
Reproductive rights are another key issue in the presidential race. This is especially true after senators voted down a bill to guarantee nationwide access to in vitro fertilization. Democrats brought the measure back to the Senate floor after Republicans blocked it from advancing in June. The bill needed 60 votes to pass. It got 51. 2 Republicans voted in favor.
We're asking Republican colleagues if they believe this bill and protecting the very essence of IVF is worth debating. Republicans say they're pro-family. Well, there's nothing more pro-family than IVF.
Former President Trump has indicated that he would support IVF treatments if reelected and that he would ask health insurance companies to pay for it.
Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin is weighing in on the vote. She issued a statement saying, quote, "Every American deserves the right to decide if, how, and when to start a family without any politicians or judges butting in." Since Republicans overturned Roe v. Wade, that cherished freedom has been put on the chopping block, including access to IVF. I'm proud to have stood with Wisconsin families and voted to protect their right to IVF and to grow their families on their own terms.
Former presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is continuing to fight his effort to get off of the ballot here in Wisconsin. He has taken the case to the 2nd District Court of Appeals. It comes after a Dane County judge sided against his efforts. The judge cited a state law saying that once a candidate submits their nomination papers, they're on the ballot. The only way a candidate can come off is if they die.
In new this morning, police in Lake Delton are asking for your help locating suspects in a retail theft. The theft happened on August 10th at the Michael Kors store in Baraboo. Police say 2 people entered the store with a large bag. They filled it with $2,000 in bags and purses and left. Police say it all happened in the span of 3 minutes. If you have information, please call the Lake Delton Police Department. The number is 608-254-7571.
We are hearing from the mother of Elijah Vu for the first time since the discovery of the missing toddler's remains. Katrina Bauer's attorney released a statement on her behalf saying that Katrina Bauer is devastated by the most recent news, identifying the remains found as Elijah. She had continued to have hope that her little boy would be found alive. At this time, she is mourning the loss of her son. Bauer, by the way, is charged with multiple crimes, including chronic child neglect. Her next court appearance is October 22nd.
A man is uninjured after driving his car in a retention pond. This here is at McKee Farms Park in Fitchburg yesterday morning just after 9:30. When crews arrived, they found the car half submerged and a man standing on top of the car. A firefighter entered the water and helped him to shore. After the rescue, a tow pulled the car from the water.
Well, looking ahead now, the World Dairy Expo is coming next month to Madison. It's the Super Bowl of the dairy industry, as our fabulous Farm Babe Pam Yankee likes to say. 2 new workshops are part of this year's program. They're both about importing and exporting dairy products. UW-Madison professors and experts are going to be among the presenters. Both sessions are on October 3rd. You have to register, though, by September 29th. You can find links to do so at channel3000.com.
Coming up after the break, how a nonprofit organization is hoping to expand technology access in Dane County.
The best chance of severe weather at least today across the Great Plains, but where we could see that tomorrow, I'll have that coming up.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
no, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Eric Hovde is a multimillionaire California bank CEO. But when it comes to our healthcare, his plans aren't so rich. Hovde says he wants to repeal the Affordable Care Act.
We have to try to defund every aspect of Obamacare,
costing 200,000 Wisconsin families their healthcare. And Hovde supported policies that will cut Social Security and Medicare and raise the Social Security retirement age. A millionaire lifestyle works great for Hovde, but his plans on healthcare are a disaster for us. Win Senate is responsible for the content of this ad.
3 years ago, I had an abortion of a desperately wanted and loved baby. Joan Ballwig wants to ban all abortion, with no exceptions. Not for rape or incest, not to save the mother's life. I know what it's like when women have to make these heartbreaking decisions. The very last person who should have anything to do with it is a politician like Joan Ballwig.
Brian Style worked to overturn Roe v. Wade, called it a great victory.
Brian Stiles' victory banned abortion in Wisconsin, and his agenda would ban it nationwide, with surveillance of pregnancies and restricting birth control and fertility treatments. Peter Barca fights to protect our freedoms, not tear them away.
He backs Wisconsin's law enforcement, firefighters, and unions.
And Peter does what's right no matter what party it is.
I'm Peter Barca, and I approve this message.
This election is about two very different visions for our nation. One focused on the future, and the other focused on the past. When the middle class is strong, America is strong. Lowering the cost of living will be a defining goal of my presidency. I'll lower the cost of insulin and prescription drugs for everyone, and I will work to pass the first ever federal ban on price gouging on food. More than 100 million Americans will get a tax cut. We will end America's housing shortage by building 3 million new homes and rentals that are affordable for the middle class. Together, we will build an economy where everyone can compete and have a real chance to succeed. Now is the time to chart a new way forward.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
In today's crazy political climate, we are constantly bombarded with information and misinformation. News 3 Now wants to make sure all the national noise doesn't drown out what's important right here in southern Wisconsin. 3 for the People highlights the issues and the races that matter where you live.
Talking with local candidates, looking at both sides of the issues, and fact-checking it all so you can cast your vote with confidence.
3 for the People, only on News 3 Now. You're watching News 3 Now this morning. Moving forward.
We are back here at 641 with a live look in Blue Mounds this morning. This is Curly's Pub and Grub right on Main Street. Getting a look at some of the damage now that the sun has come up this morning. The entrance to the pub right there on the bottom right of your screen. It is looks like there's some damage inside. We're having a hard time getting information from authorities this morning, who are remaining pretty tight-lipped about everything. We do know the call came in around 2:41 this morning. There at Curly's, which is right on Main Street, just down the road from Cave of the Mounds. A reporter there on the scene getting us a better look at the front entrance of Curly's. So everything's all cleaned up. Crews have left. We're waiting for some more information from investigators there.
That's right.
In that community.
But what we do know is Mount Horeb confirms everyone made it out safely. There are no injuries. And again, as Chris has mentioned, we will give you more updates as we learn more. But we're taking a live look at the Beltline at Rimrock Road. There recently a crash near the South Park Street exit. It blocked the right 3 lanes. The situation is mostly cleared, as you can see here, but there are still some slowdowns, so allow yourself some extra time if you're going westbound.
642 now. National Digital Equity Tracker PowerBuy says nearly 13% of people in Dane County do not have a computer. They add that nearly 12% have no broadband, but there's a Madison nonprofit looking to change that. The COVID-19 pandemic, of course, exacerbated the need for internet access because schools and other programs operated mostly online. An organization called DaneNet is getting $1.5 million in state funding to do something about it. Here's what they're hoping to do with the money.
This funding that just came through the Public Service Commission will fund 2,000 laptops over the next 2 years. So while the most households we've been able to impact has been 200 in a year, now we'll be able to hit 1,000 a year.
Those who've benefited from the program say their computer and internet service is going to help them finish school and find work.
City of Madison leaders are making efforts to create an environmental-friendly garbage collection fleet. The public is getting a first look. Take a look here. City officials showed off 2 new electric garbage trucks. Madison is the first community in Wisconsin with the vehicles. The electric trucks have a lifespan of 10 to 15 years.
So these vehicles offer real-world here benefits. They're more efficient, they're quieter, they're safer, they have lower emissions, which means they're also healthier for the communities that they serve. So for generations to come at that as well.
The city is currently working on a timeline to transition the rest of its fleet to electric vehicles.
Checking in with Savannah Brito in your first warn forecast. Temps getting up there again today, huh?
Yeah, it is going to be another warm day, well above average temperatures, still forecasting about 10 to close to 15 degrees above average. Mid-80s today. After a cool start, most of our temperatures across Dane County and southern Wisconsin have fallen into the upper 40s, lower 50s, mainly south and west of Madison, the Janesville, Monroe areas, and La Crosse still hanging on to close to 60 degrees. Two cold fronts are going to finally bring southern Wisconsin its first rain chance in over 2 weeks. The first chance with this cold front inching closer to southern Wisconsin Thursday night, technically after midnight, so into early Friday morning. That's our first rain chance. Better rain chances and storm chances remain west, but I still think we could squeeze a little bit of rain out of that. The second front early Sunday morning, that's going to be over the Great Plains. That'll eventually swing in and bring us a second chance of rain later in the weekend. That's Saturday night into Sunday. Anything today going to stay well west, although we could see some clouds increase locally. Shower chances across Minnesota and Iowa. The morning round, though, this is pushing 3 a.m. Thursday. Watch what this does as the storms do enter a more stable environment across southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois. They kind of fizzle out. That's also expected with the night round. The night round could bring us our first rain chance, though. This is 10 in the morning, still showing nothing, maybe a sprinkle, clouds increase, but then this is the focal point, the night round of showers. This is pushing 9 p.m. still into central and also northern Wisconsin. As that does inch closer to that 1 to 2 a.m. time frame, that's when we could see that line move in, but still expecting to weaken. Severe weather chances remain west of here and really west of La Crosse, but a stronger storm around Camp Douglas and then up until Madison can't be ruled out. Gusty winds, some pockets of heavier rain, that's going to be the main thing to look out for. But then Madison to Milwaukee, as those continue to travel east, they are expecting to continue to weaken. After that, we're drying up until Saturday night. Most of Saturday right now does look dry. This is what I was talking about. Camp Douglas, Black River Falls, Prairie du Chien has a level 1 out of 5 for best chance of severe weather. Rochester and Minneapolis, a level 2 out of 5. That's where most of the severe weather should remain, though, as we go forward tomorrow afternoon, evening. As that cold front does push eastward across our area, we could see a couple of stronger storms, but the better chance west of Madison. Temperatures even into early to midweek next week, those mid to lower 70s, still above normal. So summer not over yet, even though summer technically is over on Sunday.
Can't believe that summer is almost over.
I know.
And no signs of fall temperatures just yet.
Not yet.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Well, this year's Coats for Kids continues. We added another 144 coats, so that brings our total to 751. But we're looking for more, of course. The campaign runs from now until Saturday, October 5th. You can donate gently used coats, hats, mittens, or scarves at any Clinky Cleaners location or the Lucia Family YMCA. If you want to contribute but don't have any winter clothes to offer, you can donate through our website, channel3000.com.
September is Emergency Preparedness Month, and SSM Health is reminding folks like you of the importance of creating an emergency family plan. This can be for environmental events like a tornado or a blizzard, or it can be for unpredictable emergencies like a fire or a car accident. SSM Health says you should probably create an emergency supply kit too.
Non-perishable items, weather radios, flashlights, extra batteries, first aid kits. I discussed tourniquets are always a good idea, even for, I know there's a lot of hunters in Wisconsin, just carrying a tourniquet and stop the bleed kit with you when you're in the field is a good idea too. Cell phone chargers, medicines, if you have small ones, diapers, formula, candles and matches, and sealed Ziploc bags.
Experts also add that having written documents of emergency and family contact information is a good idea in case the internet is down.
Drowning is the #1 cause of death for children with autism, and it's showing why swimming lessons can be so important.
This morning, CBS's Christian Benvenides introduces us to a family that's making sure their child receives this crucial instruction.
Parents Jana and Russell D'Agostino worry about their 3-year-old daughter Daniela. Like other kids with autism, she's drawn to bodies of water.
We knew having her learn to swim was critical because I don't know if she's going to jump the pool fence or, God forbid, she gets in and no one's outside, or even worse, gets to the lake.
The D'Agostinos live in Florida, where pools, lakes, and beaches are accessible all year long.
My only hesitation was just if she was going to listen or not.
They enrolled her in swimming lessons that focus on survival skills in the water. Erin Cates is an instructor with the Baby Otter Swim School.
She falls in, she's going to know exactly what to do. She's going to turn around, she's going to turn, kick, and reach, and she's going to get up to that wall, and she's going to hold and wait for us.
The Autism Society of Florida says drowning is the leading cause of death for children on the autism spectrum.
The drowning rate for kids with autism is 160 times greater than other children.
It's in part due to autism elope when children run or wander away from caregivers. Most drownings occur in backyard swimming pools, and nearly 1 in 3 parents of a child with autism reports they've had close calls. Mindy York is president of the Baby Otter Swim School.
This is as important as a car seat, and make it a priority.
Kick and reach.
Critical lessons that are saving lives. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Royal Palm Beach, Florida.
The Autism Society says 91% of deaths in children with autism 14 or younger are due to drowning.
Well, switching gears here, coming up in the morning sprint, we're taking a look at recent trends in retail sales.
If you have a little kiddo turning 3 soon, send us a picture. We'll show it on TV. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
We all know costs are too high, but while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I'm Joan Balwig, and these days the cost to make Great-Grandma Balwig's blue ribbon banana bread is, well, just nuts. Wisconsin families are feeling the pinch of inflation, even on the basics. That's why I work to put dough back in your pockets. Led the effort to defend our family farms and pass the biggest tax cut in state history, because the only way to make life affordable again is to do what banana bread does and bring everyone to the table.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
We found out our baby had severe fetal abnormalities and that my life was at risk. But Wisconsin Republicans' extreme abortion ban forced us to leave the state to get the care that I needed. It was a nightmare. Eric Hovde pushed to end Roe v. Wade. And in the Senate, Hovde would give Mitch McConnell the majority to ban abortion nationwide. No exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of women like me. What is wrong with these guys?
4 years ago, rioters set this Minneapolis police station on fire, trying to burn me and my fellow police officers alive. Governor Tim Walz left us for dead. And Kamala Harris?
This is a movement, I'm telling you. Everyone beware. They're not going to let up, and they should not.
She raised millions to help bail rioters out of jail and supported defunding the police. Kamala sold cops out and put families at risk. Kamala Harris is too weak and too dangerous to be president.
Preserve America PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Democrats say everything's great, but when you're on a fixed income struggling to pay for gas, groceries, or medicine, it doesn't feel great.
Biden-Harris created this mess.
And Tammy Baldwin's been right there with them.
25 years in Washington. What's she done?
Raised taxes.
Added trillions in new debt.
And gave stimulus checks to illegals.
I'm Eric Hovde. I approve this message.
I'd like a stimulus check.
I'd like you to take out the trash.
Bidenomics is working.
It's not. ABC News proved it with charts.
It was under control
on
during
inflation,
the Trump administration, well below
gas,
$3 a gallon, 35%
and housing.
jump in home prices, folks.
Even CNN admits it.
When it comes to the economy, groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Yet Harris still says,
Bidenomics is working.
No, it isn't.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Bus Rapid Transit begins Sunday, September 22nd. Visit mymetrobus.com.
Time now is 6:54. It's time for the morning sprint.
Another live look in Blue Mounds this morning, where fire officials are investigating a fire at Curly's Pub and Grub. The call came in just after 2:30 this morning. Curly's is in the corner of Main Street and Division Street in Blue Mounds. The fire is out. They're all cleaned up. They're now working to find out just how much damage there is. We do know no one is hurt.
Today is an important day for the U.S. economy. For the first time in 4 years, the Federal Reserve is expected to reduce interest rates. The question today is how much will the Fed slash rates? Rate cuts would make repaying certain loans less expensive, but analysts say too much of a cut could lead to a recession. A decision is expected around 1 today.
Still no federally guaranteed access to in vitro fertilization. U.S. senators voted down a bill that would allow access. Democrats brought the measure back to the Senate floor yesterday after Republicans blocked it from advancing in June. The bill needed 60 votes. It got 51. 2 Republicans voted in favor.
Starting today, students who attend East Elementary in Jefferson will have classes in other buildings. District leaders say this will continue through the 27th of this month. This comes after a fire canceled classes yesterday. Officials say the fire did not cause significant damage, but it requires soot cleaning. More information for caretakers can be found on the district's Facebook page.
If you live in Sun Prairie, you're going to have to pay more now to own a car. This comes after the city passed a wheel tax last night. It's $30 going into effect February 1st. It comes as road repairs and infrastructure projects have become more expensive. There are currently more than 50 cities and counties in the state with wheel taxes.
Several people in Lebanon and Syria are dead after explosions. They came from handheld pagers. Members of Hezbollah are among the victims. A young girl who was killed, and officials say several thousand people were wounded. Hezbollah and the Lebanese government blamed Israel for what appeared to be a sophisticated remote attack. The Israeli military declined to comment.
Commerce Department reporting a rise in retail sales. They ticked up in the U.S. last month, a 0.1% jump from July to August. It's part of a 2.1% increase year over year, though. Online sales were the primary driver.
We are still forecasting the mid-80s sticking around today through Friday. Over the weekend, temperatures are going to dip a little bit, not by much. That's still well above average. First chance of rain finally returning Thursday night. We need some rain. We don't need the storms, but hopefully that's enough to make an impact on our drought monitor.
I know we are in need.
Yes.
Savannah, thank you.
Another news and weather update in 30 minutes.